I thought yesterday's meeting was historic. We have been trying to do that for quite some time. And yesterday, having all those key players at the table, it meant well for the sport. We have to be, be very responsible where the athletes are concerned, and it's more about the athletes. And so once we focus on that, and I was very happy that they accepted the invitation to be part of the discussion, how we move forward and how we could collaborate to get the best of our athletes in Trinidad.
What was the main outcome of the meeting?
Well, the outcome of the meeting is that we would work together with respect to setting sanctioning the events, which would mean that the performances would be performances that count. Athletes could do qualifying standards at the meet.
Is it secondary school or the zonals? What level we
all levels, at the zonals and at the secondary school championship, because we are asking for consistency. So in past years they would have had hand times in some zonals and electronic time, and we are seeing.
And I guess the officiating is all short.
Okay. So we are asking for them to be consistent in the officiating as well as the results management aspect. What we offered yesterday, that yes, we have systems that we will help. There's also the sport company that have a system so that we can use either or. And I am aware that there's a system in the ministry as well, Ministry of Education, but I'm not sure whether they have operators. We have also agreed that we would run some programs to create more operators for the system.
Okay, because with all the zonals across the country, plus the NCAA scheduled events.
Right, so that the thing is to keep the consistency with officiating as well as the time management. The meeting on yesterday was the first of many. Absent, or I think in hindsight, I think primary school was not there. They would be included. And I think we would continue to meet with the parties with respect to the whole development of the sport, because a number of issues were raised where in some of these secondary schools, some of the teachers not understanding the sport and having athletes running them to the ground, because they damage the athletes, so that we had concern with that, and those areas are areas that we're looking to see how we can improve on that.
The track and field season first development meet took place in December. The first one in Trinidad set for the 14th or 15th, this Saturday. Tell us about the season immediate plans.
Again, we continue to be challenged with the facilities. As of today, the Carifta trials could be in jeopardy with respect to football that's supposed to be in the stadium, and the stadium may be out of bounds, so to speak. So, but we were trying to work around that. But again, the facilities continue to be an issue. It also it would affect the field where the shot put takes place. So we're seeing that if we can probably use the trackers and use the outside field training ground for the shot. As you recognize, the Hasely Crawford and the Dwight York Stadium, the only two facilities that we can do both track and field. I was happy to hear the minister say tonight that they're attempting to complete Ato Boldon and have it both for track and for field. So that once we do that, I think we should be in a good space.
When I spoke with you in November, you mentioned about you already started an evaluation of the junior athletes.
We have just shortlisted about 40 athletes. The next step is to meet with the coaches of the clubs to just have that discussion with them, or that conversation, I should say, and then have these athletes assessed by the sports development.
So they have not been assessed as yet?
No, we're hoping to do that within the next couple of weeks. We were hoping to start in December, but there were some hiccups with respect to the whole introduction or the implementation of the project. So that it's also taken a little different shape, where we were hoping to bring them in from time to time. But we are now looking at probably hiring consultants in the field of nutrition who will work with the individual athletes, psychologists as well, working with the individual athletes to give us that kind of feedback to see how we can better treat with them, and then the medical aspect. The development meets are run a little different, where the athletes come and they just line up, but we want to start setting the programs out so we can do entries and treat it as a full meet, and if athletes who didn't register come on the day, we try to put them into the events.
Alright, one more thing, there's always the issue of Carnival and the stadium not being available. Any plans?
That has not changed?
No, I mean in terms of, you all have any plans of any alternative to the stadium?
Well, the alternative is to go to Larry Gomes or Manny Ramjan, which doesn't have the facility for the throwers.
No, I'm just asking if you all, I mean, yes, it's not available, if there's a plan.
The only option we have is to use the other stadium that does not have the facilities for throw. We have been working with sport, and what they offer us is that they try to facilitate the transportation for the athletes to those venues to train.